I can.
ASCO Webinar 2020, organized by All India Saraswat Cultural Organization. As per the tradition, we will start our webinar with prayer to the Almighty. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Gananath Saraswati Ravi Shukra Bruhaspratim Panchetani Smare Nityam Vedavani Pravartaye Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Good evening once again. This is the 7th session of ASCO Webinar 2020 series, which is a knowledge series. First 6 sessions were on different various topics like mental uprightness, then about the industry, then the infrastructure growth, and then about COVID-19 also we took information. There were 2 entertainment programs. And now we are coming out with the 7th session of webinar series, and that is on hearing and speech and voice wellness, which will make the importance of all these 3 things in our life. This will give you the insight about the care you have to take in preserving and improving your voice and hearing abilities. Which purpose? We have invited today Dr. Jnanada Poddar, a renowned audiologist, speech and voice therapist. Let me introduce Dr. Jnanada Poddar formally. She hails from Mumbai. She is graduated in audiology and speech therapy from Aliya Jung Institute, National Institute of Speech and Hearing Handicapped at Mumbai. She has done her master's in linguistics in Mumbai, and then she has done a master's in health administration from Columbus, Ohio. After that, she worked in Columbus for 3 years as business development executive, as well as graduate research assistant, at the same time observer for audiology and speech therapy department at Grant Medical Center, Columbus, Ohio. Then, to serve our nation, she came back to India, and that's a good sign for all of us that she has come back and she started working at Mahavir Medical Center, Mumbai for 3 years, and after that, past 16 years, she has started her own Hear Well clinic at Powai, and also she is a consultant for audiologist and speech therapist at Dr. L.H. Hiranandani Hospital at Powai. Dr. Jnanada Poddar is very passionate about the field of audiology and speech voice therapy. A social worker in heart, she is always active, and that has promoted her to write in all magazines and newspapers about the issues like noise pollution, equal opportunity for disabled, child development issues, at the same time giving talks to create awareness in hearing and speech voice well-being in schools, senior citizens association, Rotary Club, etc. At the same time, she has volunteered in arranging hearing checkup camps. She believes in prevention is better than cure. Extremely proactive in her treatment methods. At the same time, she is one of the pioneers in hearing conservation and hearing yoga. Today's session will be moderated by Mr. Mohit Manik Bhinde, a young entrepreneur from Mumbai, having his own business in water treatment plants, filtration systems. He is himself a poet as well as a good writer. He is very good compeer, and now you can witness him today. young, enthusiastic, and energetic personality. Also, he is a member of our ISO. Let me now hand over the proceedings to Mr. Mohit Bende. Over to Mohit. Mohit.
Thank you so much, Subhash sir, for the wonderful introduction. I would like to experiment a little today and introduce our guest in a slightly different way. I have written a small little poetry for her and I will recite it for you. I hope you guys like it. Here it goes. A few years ago in Mumbai city, a child was born full of creativity. Helping others was something she did naturally. Mom, can I be a social worker? She used to ask continually. As she grew, she was clear what her passion was: to work with society and always be associated with a noble cause. You must be a doctor, was the advice she received. The idea stuck with her, and her career path was conceived. So many options to choose from to match with her ideology. Her brain ran helter skelter amidst cardiology, gynecology, and oncology. But then, some instances in life made her realize her path's terminology. She instantaneously got attracted to the field of audiology. Why are you doing this? It has no scope. Are you scared of cardiology? Or is the syllabus too difficult to cope? These were the mean and nasty comments she had to face every day. But her resolve was strong, and she wasn't going to sway. After her bachelor's, she did her master's in linguistics, another fascination. And after her marriage, she moved to America to pursue another master's in health administration. She became a fine mother, a fine wife, but kept her passion alive. And when she came back to India, her real struggle, she had to survive. Starting her dream clinic from scratch was no small task. With little awareness about her subject, her critics told her to lock her dreams in a cask. But she was very clear about her dreams, her vision, and with hard work and persistence, she sustained all extremes. Her job involves her to listen to us speak, but today it's going to be the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Nyanada Poddar, a true survivor and inspiration. Let's understand her subject, which she will expound. Dr. Nyanada Poddar, welcome.
Thank you so much for this amazing and wonderful introduction. And this is like a very lovely poem that I'm hearing first time in my 25 years career. Thank you so much, Mohit.
You're most welcome, Doctor. So, Doctor, this field of audiology and speech therapy, it doesn't get any attention in our country, very little. In fact, not many people are even aware about what this exactly is. So, Doctor, could you throw some light on your profession, please?
Sure. Audiology is the field of hearing. In audiology, we diagnose different kinds of hearing loss and treat them to prevent future deterioration. And in speech therapy, we treat people who have a variety of communication handicap. They are not able to express themselves. This includes everybody, like children to adults to senior citizens. So it's a very lovely field, and for me, work is my passion. So it's not really work. It's like I enjoy going every day to my clinic. Seriously.
That's really fantastic to know, Doctor. But coming to audiology, hearing is one of the most important senses we possess.
Correct.
But it may be one of the most ignored. So, Doctor, I'll tell you my example. I started doing yoga in this lockdown. I try and go for a walk. I used to go to the gym, everything for my body, for my cardiovascular system. But never, ever, even once have I done anything for my ears. So, Doctor, my question to you is, if we take our ears for granted, if we do not do anything about it, can that lead to problems? Can it lead to hearing loss? Can we identify these things early?
The hearing helps you connect to the world. So it's very important to have a very good hearing. till a later age in life. And a simple 10-minute test called audiometry test can identify hearing loss very early, and you can take measures to prevent future deterioration. But unfortunately, how many of us do this audiometry test?
No one, doctor. I
Not
don't think
many
I
people even
never
know.
done it in my life.
Yes, not many people even know about it. So audiometry test is a 10-minute simple test that can be done, that is done in a sound treated room, and it measures your hearing. That the earlier one, the slide of audiometry slide, please, Rahul. Yeah, this is the one, correct. So we do it in a sound treated room, and it tells us the degree and type of hearing loss, and then we kind of know like what's the level of the hearing loss and treat it accordingly.
Okay.
And
But
it
doc,
test should be included in all health checkup packages. And many, like especially people with diabetes, hypertension, this test is very much recommended. And also for people above 40 years of age, every year we have to do this test so that we can know our current hearing status and take steps to conserve our hearing in the future. And
right, doc. Yes, please.
hearing screening also should be a routine test for all babies, because then we can identify hearing impaired congenitally deaf babies early, so that we can take steps as soon as possible so that they develop speech sooner than
Correct. Correct.
identified.
But doctor, just now you told us what a audiometry test is about. If we wouldn't have had this session, probably I would never have known. My
Correct,
question to you, doctor, is that we pretty much know about all the other tests,
correct,
but
correct.
this is one test that people aren't aware of. Is it so because we don't have the necessary infrastructure in our country?
See, major metropolitan cities have bigger hospitals. They have an audiology and speech therapy department in there, and they conduct these tests. But in rural areas, there is no infrastructure, and children cannot be identified early. That leads to, it's a very sad situation there. Like we get they travel from rural areas to Mumbai and other metropolitan cities when they are like 6 years old without any speech, and if they are born congenitally deaf, so it's very difficult to survive. Like it's very like the whole life child's life is ruined because he or she is not identified early. So it's very important to know about these steps and take the necessary steps so that it's identified early. And also it's proven for senior citizens, like if you have a hearing loss, it can lead to dementia if it is untreated and not taken care of. So it's very important for seniors also to identify their hearing loss and take steps, wear hearing aids. And these days there are like a
Right,
variety
right. So, very, very interesting, doctor. My next question was in line with that. So, once the hearing loss is identified, I think that's half the battle won. But
correct,
my
correct.
next question to you is, say, for example, it's identified and it's not at a very great degree. Can, with medication and treatment, can a hearing loss be reversed? Or does one have to live with it for the rest of his or her life? Could you please throw some light on this?
Audiometry test identifies the type of hearing loss. There are two types of hearing loss. One is conductive hearing loss, which is due to blockage in the external ear and middle ear, and that can be reversed with medicines and surgery. Yes,
That's really nice, doctor.
moderate hearing loss, and that can be reversed. But if somebody has a sensory neural hearing loss, which is a nerve loss, nerve related loss, and that is due to old age and other nerve related, as we grow older, our nerves are also aging. So it's a kind of permanent hearing loss, and that cannot be reversed. So one has to go for hearing aids immediately to preserve their hearing so that it doesn't deteriorate in the future. And
Doctor, yes, yes.
monitor our speech volume also on our hearing. So if we hear, because if we cannot hear, we usually tend to talk very loudly, and it's like family members are concerned, why is this person talking so loudly, and also TV volume goes up tremendously. So that's how like family members recognize these signs and symptoms.
Right.
Once life,
Doctor, in your wonderful, illustrious, long career, you must have come across so many people who must have just come to you in the nick of time. You must
yes,
have identified that, okay, this is the beginning of a hearing loss, and
correct.
it was reversed and the person was fine. Could you share some stories like this with us,
Sure,
please?
sure. There are many success stories with hearing loss. Like if identified early. Now, one story I strikingly remember is of a couple. A 70-year-old husband had started developing hearing loss, and he was getting so much dependent on his wife to communicate with others. So the wife finally got like fed up, and she dragged him to do an audiometry test and get his hearing aids done. So both of them came to me, and he was fitted with hearing aids. He had quite a bit of loss, and he was fitted with hearing aids. And then after 6 months, he was so independent that he became the president of Senior Citizens Association in his area.
Wow.
It's a life-changing thing that you could do to somebody. Like, why remain dependent on somebody? You have to be independent as much as possible. And it's even in childhood hearing loss, it's very important to identify early and put like wear hearing aids so that your speech comes out normally.
So, Doctor, I think we should take this platform and urge our wonderful audience on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Please go for an audiometry test. We go to the dentist so very often. We go
Correct.
for our health checkups so very often, but we ignore our ears. So I
Yes.
think, Doctor, let's take this platform to tell everyone to go for an audiometry test. Rest
Right.
assured, I'll be the first one post lockdown to go and get one done.
Sure, sure. You're most welcome, Mohit.
Thank you, doctor. But then coming to this example, now say for example, I come to you for an audiometry test and my ears are fine, right? You give me good marks and you tell me that your hearing senses are good.
Correct.
Doctor, if I want to keep my hearing senses good, if I
Correct.
want to prevent hearing loss altogether, is
Correct.
there something I can do? Some exercises, some techniques, something which if I can incorporate in my day-to-day life, my hearing will stay good for the rest of my life, or for anyone, as for that matter.
There's a lot you can do to help conserve your hearing. Hearing conservation is one topic that I'm really enthusiastic about talking, and it helps young adults and young children also to be aware of their hearing. Like many times we abuse our hearing. Like there's so much noise pollution out there, the traffic noise, the train noise, the airplane, people living close to airports, they are exposed to a lot of noise in our daily life, and we hear it throughout, and then after few years we start developing symptoms of hearing loss. So why not wear ear protectors early on, so that we make ear plugs, like the soft ear plugs that cuts out the noise when we are in noise, and any sound more than 80 decibels can really harm your ears. So you have to be
So, doctor, you said 80 decibels. What is 80 decibels? Like, can you tell us a sound which is more than 80
sure,
decibels?
sure.
For example, what is the decibel level of the sound of a horn?
It's 100 decibels and above for sure.
Wow, that is a lot, doctor. That is more than the permissible limit, isn't it?
Like if somebody is outside, if they are traveling on the road for like 2 hours, they are exposed to so much honking. So we have to be really conscious as a society. Is this honking really needed? And think about it. The number of cars on the road are continuously like increasing every year. Everybody wants cars, but is our society doing enough to control noise pollution in the society? So that's one topic I'm like,
So, doctor, on an average, the voice that we are transmitting now, what is the sound volume of our voice,
it's
for
50
example?
to 60 decibels.
50 to 60 decibels.
Yes, we are
So,
talking at a 50 to 60 decibel level, and that's why like sometimes the lower volume hearing loss can go unnoticed. So it's very important to do the to do a audiometry test and
so, doctor, we it's very difficult for us to keep control of our surroundings. When we go out, step out post lockdown, we are going to travel.
Correct.
Those of our friends living in Vile Parle, Andheri, Santa Cruz
Correct.
are going to be exposed to the sound of the plane.
Yes.
So I think in that, as you rightly said, the best thing would be to wear earplugs and yeah,
And
there is
if
not,
Rahul
yes,
can show the slide of hearing conservation, I think there's a slide on earplugs, like how they look like and what you could do to conserve
sure.
hearing. That would be great.
You get these earplugs anywhere, doctor, in any medical shop, or do we need to order them specially?
See the earlier slide, please, Rahul. Earlier slide of before hearing yoga. Before this, no, in between there was a slide. So those are this one, yes. So hearing conservation, these are the earplugs I'm talking about,
Okay.
custom made to your ears. So you can wear them whenever you're in traffic noise. That reduces the volume, but still you're able to hear the next person. So it doesn't block the sound completely, but it reduces the volume of the sound.
So do we need to get these made specially, doctor, or are they readily available
They are
everywhere?
made by any audiologist. They are called earplugs. They are used for swimming also, by the way. Like if you're swimming, you can wear these, and so that water doesn't go into your ears.
Okay. So two
And
things, doctor. One thing for certain is that I am coming for an audiometry test,
huh,
and the second thing is that I will be buying these earplugs. There's no question about that.
great, thank you so much. And one more thing I would like to tell about is use of headphones, because these days we are listening to music on the headphones. We wear earbuds, so without any restriction, the volume is set at full volume and continues throughout the day. People are hearing the earbuds, so that also damages your ears in the long run. So there are some guidelines. World Health Organization has come out with some guidelines about hearing music through headphones, so that you can follow those guidelines, and that will also help conserve your hearing, because many youngsters I see these days continuously they are on music. They are listening to music with earplugs and earbuds.
I'm guilty, doctor. I do that all the
But
time.
there are many, there are many. So if you don't know about it, of course you will go. You don't know the restrictions, but one has
Yes.
to be moderate in everything that you do.
Right. And doctor, you are going to demonstrate some exercises for
Yes,
us.
today is International Yoga Day, so what better opportunity to use this platform to demonstrate some hearing yoga exercises.
Wonderful. Doctor, can the audience at home do this with us?
Yes, yes, sure. They can do it with us, and also practice it at home so that they can conserve their hearing also. I have a YouTube video on hearing yoga, so if people are interested, they can look up my YouTube channel and learn more exercises. So we'll be demonstrating the sound meditation exercise.
Wow.
You can have a volunteer from your end.
Of course. I think let's get on Raju sir, Mr. Rajendra Pai, who's the secretary of the All India Saraswat Cultural Organization. Rahul, if we could have Raju sir on screen, please.
Hello.
Hello, Raju sir. Welcome. I think
Thank
you'll
you.
need to unmute. Yes. Hello, Raju sir. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Just before you start, doctor,
Yes.
I would just like to tell the audience to please try it at home. I'm going to do it right here with you, and Raju sir is going to demonstrate. And all the best, doctor. And we are waiting forward to your exercises.
So this sound meditation exercise is for to increase the sharpness of our hearing. So it is done like with when you have to listen to an instrumental music and try to identify the musical instruments in that piece. So we'll be
Okay.
playing a musical instrument piece, fusion. It's a classical fusion. So please, it's an enjoyable music. So everybody listen to the music and try to identify the musical instruments played in that piece. So can we have,
Voice is cracking. Doctor, your voice is cracking.
is it?
All right. Raju sir, you'll have to listen to the music.
So, what musical instruments did you notice?
I could not hear complete thing.
You couldn't?
Tabla, sitar,
Correct.
flute.
Great, great. And there was little bit of singing
No,
also.
I could not hear completely.
But that's fine. Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah,
Like instruments are there, and there's a matka also, like this matka sound, and
right,
also
right,
singing towards the
right.
end. So
I
this,
think it's called ghumat. I think it's called ghumat, that matka, or something like that.
okay, okay. So, so it's a beautiful fusion musical piece. So this sound meditation helps you sharpen your hearing, and even hearing impaired people wearing hearing aids can practice this exercise on a daily basis.
Right. We just got, I'm sorry, we just got a small notification that is called ghatam,
Oh,
not
okay.
ghumat. The instrument with the matka
Correct.
is called ghatam.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Nice, nice.
Absolutely. Raju sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Raju sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So
Any
next,
other exercise that you would like to demonstrate, doctor?
sure. Next, we have Brahmari Pranayam exercise. Everybody knows in yoga there are pranayams, breathing exercises. So this exercise is called Brahmari because it makes the sound of a bee, honey bee humming. So what we have to do, I'll demonstrate. Can I have a volunteer from your
Of
end?
course. I think let's get on Kishore sir. Mr. Kishore Masurkar, Vice President of the All India Saraswat Cultural Organization. Can we have him on screen if he's there, Rahul, please? Oh, there. Hello, Kishore sir. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm fine, Mohit. Nice to-
Wonderful. Good to have you, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So today we'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
doing
hello, Dr.
Brahmari,
Yeah.
Brahmari Pranayam. So
Yeah.
you have to take, I will demonstrate it first and then
Yeah.
you can follow me. You have to take a nice deep breath from your nose and cover your ears, cover the tragus part of your ears with your thumb like this and take a deep breath and say humming sound, hum. Okay.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
creates vibrations in your ears, and that's very good for your inner ear health.
Yeah,
So
Doctor. Yeah, can I do it, Doctor? Yeah.
sure, you can try. Take a deep breath and start. Did you feel the vibrations in your inner ear?
Feel the vibration. Yeah,
Correct.
Doctor.
That this exercise is very good to help you preserve your hearing in the long term. So do all the hearing yoga exercises as a hearing conservation and be proactive in protecting your hearing. Thank you
Yeah,
so
Doctor,
much.
can I ask you one question? I mean, how many times you have to do that in a day?
You can do at least 5 times.
Five
Five
times.
times of Brahmari. That
Okay.
should, yeah, you can do there are many exercises on hearing yoga. You can do like every five times each. That will help you.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kishore sir. Thank you for being here. Doctor, you had mentioned a point some time ago about hearing and speaking, about the interrelation between hearing and speaking. So my question to you is, does hearing loss also lead to speech problems?
Yes, it definitely does. If you're not hearing clearly, you can have misarticulations in your speech. Like, speech becomes unclear. Some sounds are substituted with other sounds because you're not hearing correctly. So that's why. So in children, especially, it's very evident. Speech problems need to be corrected as early as possible so that they don't go through the low self-confidence and other psychological issues.
But doctor, if we notice maybe someone speaking a little more loudly than usual at home, or if
Yes,
we see some friend speaking a little softly, could
correct.
the underlying problem be with the ears, with the
Yes,
listening?
yes, we definitely like we monitor our speech depending on how we hear. If we are not hearing, then we tend to talk at a very loud volume. And if our ears are blocked due to conductive hearing loss, we hear our voice very loud. So we talk very softly. So talking also is a sign of hearing loss. If you talk very loudly and very softly. Both ways it is you have to get a audiometry test done.
Okay. But doctor, I have, when I go back, when I press the rewind button in my life and I go back, to my school days, there were so many of my friends who used to stutter,
Correct.
stammer, they had a lisp, but they could hear very clearly.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I always wondered, why do people develop speech problems in the first place? Are they born with it, or are lifestyle factors playing a role? Is it stress, or is it a mixture of everything coming together? Why do people have speech problems?
See, there are many causes of speech problems. So some speech problem can be congenital in nature. Unfortunately, babies are born with cleft lip, cleft palate, tongue tie, then cerebral palsy, autism. All these are like structural problems of speech. But there are some environmental factors also playing a huge role in speech problems. Like, for example, lifestyle these days is like both parents are working and they don't have enough time to give to their child. So children lack speech language stimulation from the parents. So it's very difficult for them to learn the concepts, learn speech at a normal pace. So they start falling behind in their speech and language. So, and also screen time. Screen times have increased so much, especially in this lockdown. Like children are continuously on screens, so that also helps. That also, causes speech and language delays.
But how, doctor? How can spending more time on the computer or on a mobile phone lead to speech problems?
Because you're socially isolated, you're like into the screen, so you don't know how to communicate with the person next to you, but you are like constantly, so your social interaction goes down. And that's why especially at a very early age, social interaction is very necessary to develop your speech. So if the screen time is high, it leads to hyperactivity also in young children, and also the speech and language becomes delayed, and many times we don't know how to say certain sounds, so it leads to a lot of problems. So American Academy of Pediatrics has recommended screen time restrictions for young children. So please, parents of young children, please look them up and follow them at home.
Doctor, I had a friend in college who was an excellent orator,
Correct.
did extremely well, but unfortunately, he worked very hard to get into the IIM, the Indian Institute of Management.
Correct.
Never did too well in his CAT exam.
Okay.
Believe you me, he took it so much to heart that after some time he just could not speak on stage. So,
Okay.
can stress and can life's events, create speech problems as well?
Stammering can occur at different stages in your life. Speech problems, basically it is stammering, right? Like it is stress
Yes. He
related.
started stuttering. He just couldn't get his words out properly.
So what
He
happens?
couldn't.
Stammering is like it origins in the early childhood, but then whenever the person has increased stress in their life, it can manifest itself in different forms. So, but if the person knows how to control stammering with exercises, they can get over it then.
That's pretty much my next question. So, our lovely audience would be very interested to know, while I was just coming here for this webinar, I was
Correct.
actually reading about celebrities who have had speech problems.
Correct.
Shocking names across the world. There are many, but to name some in our country: Hrithik
Correct.
Roshan, Boman Irani, Paresh Rawal.
Correct.
These are fine actors. They are in the creative medium.
Correct.
Their speech is the biggest asset. They are giving interviews on a daily basis. I
Correct.
was reading an interview about Hrithik Roshan where he says that he had a speech problem for a very long time in his life. Doctor, my question to you is, yes, if a speech problem is identified early in a child, it can be worked upon. But there are so many people who live with the speech problem all their lives.
Correct.
Is
Correct.
there any hope for them? Can anybody at any age take it upon himself and fight this speech problem and come out of it successfully?
Definitely, I feel like my personal opinion is speech problems and voice problems can be corrected at any age. there are so many people with speech problems that we notice in around us, like they are suffering, like they have lisping, unclear speech, mumbling in the mouth, like many, they manifest themselves as many, but there's a social stigma associated with going to a speech therapist. So it's very important for family to support them, family and friends to support them. And it's always advice, if you are suffering inside, if you think you have a speech problem, please take help as soon as possible. It can be corrected. I would give an example of a success story that I had in my clinic. A 30-year-old professional came to me with a speech problem, and his parents couldn't afford speech therapy. He was from the rural background, so his parents couldn't afford speech therapy back then, and there were not that many resources. Like the infrastructure also was not there. So now he's an adult. He's working at a good place. So he came to me. Can I improve my speech because my colleagues cannot understand me? So yes, with 1 month of speech therapy, he it worked wonders for him. He became a completely new person, and he could talk like once a week. We did speech therapy, and I gave him a like powerful home program so that he could practice the sounds and speech at home also. So it worked wonders for him, and now he's brilliant in his work, and he's still in touch with me. So it's amazing how speech therapy can make a difference in somebody's life. So don't hesitate to go to a speech therapist at any point in your life. Take help if you need it.
Doctor, why is there a stigma? Is it due to the fact that maybe in movies, in on television, people, characters
Correct.
with these kind of problems are always laughed upon. They are given a comic angle.
Correct.
People who stammer are always mocked.
Correct.
Is that the lack of awareness about this the reason why there is so much stigma? Maybe people are living in denial.
Yes, definitely. Like, even I see so many people not going to a therapist, like they are suffering. But it is so that's why, like, we create a lot of awareness programs so that people become comfortable to come out and go to a therapist and seek help. So there is a lot of stigma associated, no doubt. Even wearing hearing aids is it's a big stigma. There is a big stigma. People don't mind wearing specs. Spectacles have become so commonplace, but wearing hearing aids is looked down upon, like people don't accept it even if they need it. So all the stigma factors have to be removed from your mind. So
I
even
think, doctor, we as society need to be more compassionate. If we come across somebody who's taking time to speak or who's finding it difficult to articulate words or who's stammering, instead of getting irritated, I think we should be more accepting of such people.
yes, definitely. And we have to create opportunities for them also. I feel like even they deserve to be on equal terms with everybody in the society.
There
It
must be so many instances, doctor, that a patient must have come to you with absolutely no hope, must have come with an absolute negative frame of mind कि मेरा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, and with certain exercises must have just come out of it. Will you
yes.
share some impossible story like this with us and inspire us?
Oh, there are many. Like I've been in the field for last 25 years, so every now and then I get, especially students, like 10th, they don't have time when they are in 10th standard. So once they complete the 10th standard boards, they come to me to improve their speech, because speech is important in any field that you go in. So it's a major influence. So it's always better if you know how to speak well. It creates a definite influence in any field. So students have come to me, professionals have come to me, even professional voice users, they also come for voice modulation, because it's very necessary these days. Like your voice should sound interesting, it should not sound monotonous or like dull. So voice is a big field that it's still
Correct. And we are going to come to the topic of voice very, very soon. But before that, I'd just like to take a minute to address our lovely audience on YouTube, on Zoom, on Facebook. Please feel free to ask your questions. On Zoom, there is a question and answer window. please do post your questions on that window. On YouTube, you could type it down in the chat segment. Same applies to Facebook. If time permits, Dr. Podar will try and answer each and every question of yours. So, Doctor, now coming to the most interesting part of the webinar for me, voice. Doctor, I have had a problem. Till I was 18, I had a feminine voice. Whenever I spoke on the phone, people used to call me ma'am. Then all of a sudden, God was kind and my throat opened up and I started developing a masculine voice. But still, doctor, I am not satisfied with my voice. I want a baritone. I want to sound like Mr. Bachchan or like Mr. Amrish Puri. And I've tried it. In fact, if you give me the liberty, I'll try to do it right now as we speak. But
Oh, nice.
it sounds so unnatural, doctor. So my question to you is simple. Can I have the voice of my choice?
See, everybody's voice is unique as their fingerprint. So everybody is born with a normal, like fundamental pitch, fundamental frequency, loudness, and rhythm. Rhythm can be changed, but pitch unfortunately cannot be changed beyond the range. There's a pitch range that you have. You can go high up in that range, and low, you can go low also, but beyond that it's harmful for your throat. So if you try to
So
emulate,
basically, doctor, I can never sound like Amitabh Bachchan.
your voice is pretty good, so why do you want to sound like Amitabh Bachchan?
Well, he's Mr. Bachchan after all. Come on. But doctor, still, if I want to, keep my voice good or even better it, I am in business, as Mr. Subhash Saraf had introduced me. I do so many meetings a day. Speaking is my passion. I like to do webinars. And I, as you rightly showed us all, in fact, some hearing exercises.
Correct.
Are there some vocal exercises that can be done to enhance voice quality so that it can sound better?
Sure. There are two exercises that I have selected for your organization. One is pitch variation exercise. As you said, like if we can have that slide of pitch variation
Sure.
shortly. So pitch is something like going from low to high. So how do you vary your pitch? And that is one exercise. If I can have a volunteer from your side,
Of course. So, talking about pitch, would you like to have a singer as a volunteer?
Oh, sure. Exceptional. Now, this is the pitch slide that we had here.
Right. Let's have a look at that first. Yeah.
A man's pitch is a low pitch, like 85 to 185 hertz. Women are at a little bit higher pitch, 65 to 250 hertz, and children are above it. So a man sounds different than a woman, and a child's voice is different than both of them. So pitch range is different, but a man sounding like a woman is a problem. So one has to take help about it, and it can be corrected. It can
Okay.
definitely be corrected. So if
So
I,
you mean to say, doctor, with practice we can modulate our pitch and use it to our advantage in situations?
oh yes, definitely, no doubt about it. I get a lot of radio jockeys also who modulate their voice
Yes.
continuously. They have to, that's their bread and butter. So they have to use their voice effectively and have a good vocal hygiene like this. There are some diet that you have to follow. No shouting. So there's a huge bunch of, it's on
Absolutely.
you on the screen. So
I'm really looking forward to your exercise, doctor.
yes, sure.
So, as a volunteer, I would like to call on our very own singer. We have Miss Smita Pagnis with us. She's a member of ISCO and she's also the editor of our magazine. So, can we have her on screen, please? Hello, Smita ma'am. How are you? Welcome.
Hello, doctor.
Hello. So this pitch variation exercise is something everybody knows. You know, Sare Gama Pada Nisa, how we go from low frequency to high frequency. So first I'll demonstrate it, and then you can try it all by yourself, and the audience can try it. So the key is to take a nice deep breath before starting, and then go from sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Can you try?
And also, can all our audience members try it? It's fun, I guess.
Yes.
Smita ma'am?
Adi gama pada nisa tani dhapa magarisa.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you so much, Smita.
Thank you. Thank you.
Smita ma'am, any question that you would like to ask Dr. Poddar?
Yes, thank you for the good insight into the subject. It's a very interesting subject. I would like to ask you, how would this audiology science help the aspiring singers to improve their tonal quality or range of the vocal cord? Is there any connections? You did say about it to Mohit just now. You did tell him, but are there any techniques to improve these aspects?
Yes, definitely. See,
And where would we see, where can we see these techniques?
correct. So, see, what happens is when you learn to sing, first you learn auditorily how the sounds are different. You are a singer, right? So,
Right.
so you learn auditorily how the sounds are different, how the notes are different, low frequency, high, mid frequency, high frequency, and then learn about voice culture. So, all singers, before they start singing, they have to know about voice culture, because breathing is very important for singing. If you have a good breath control, you can sing at any pitch,
Right.
depending in your pitch range. Do not sing songs that are beyond your pitch range, because everybody, as I said, is born with a pitch range. You can modulate your voice within the pitch range, but you cannot, if you sing beyond your pitch range without practice, it can damage your vocal folds. So one has to remember that, and practice is very important. So you cannot start running a marathon without exercise and practice, right? So the
Right.
same applies for singing. So one has to practice for a while and then slowly increase the pitch and learn about voice culture, how the voice is generated. That brings me to the next exercise that
But
we.
doctor, before that, I had a question. May I ask you, please?
Yes, tell.
So, doctor, there are some professions that involve us to go at a very high pitch.
Correct.
Like, say, for example, there are people on stage, or there are teachers
Mhm.
who, at times, speak at extremely high pitches. They need to shout and yell at times, and there are,
They are
uh,
loud. They are loud. Pitch is
yes.
depending on loudness.
In the military, for example, they modulate their voice, the trainers especially.
Correct. I've
Yeah,
heard.
it can speaking at a pitch that is not natural damage vocal cords?
Yes, it can. You have to be very careful, because that can cause vocal nodules in your vocal folds.
My
So
goodness.
talking very loudly or for an extended period of time, many people don't realize they talk throughout the day. They are on the phone, they are in the meetings, they are talking to a group of people loudly. So it's and that, like, without hydrating your throat, like you need to keep on hydrating your throat. Yes, that is a good habit. Even I have kept my glass of water here. So you need to hydrate your throat while you're talking, and also follow the vocal gym exercises. That
Okay.
helps. And diet is also very important. So
Okay.
lifestyle factors like smoking, drinking can dehydrate your throat and cause problems with your voice. So professional voice users have to be very careful with their diet, lifestyle, and this vocal hygiene.
Thank you, doctor. Now you are coming to your next exercise.
Yes. So next exercise is very relevant to all of us, like professionals who want to talk, who want to project their voice to the audience, or to this can be applied to any profession. Like they want to talk to their employees, or they want to talk to their group of people, talk at a very louder, like higher volume, without damaging your throat. Even teachers, when they have to talk to 40 children at a go, so they have to know something called diaphragmatic breathing.
Okay.
Okay, diaphragm. Where is our diaphragm? It's just below our lungs. And when we take a deep breath, your belly moves.
Right.
Belly.
So should we get someone to help us out here?
If we can get a volunteer, I can
Absolutely. So I would like to welcome our Vice President, Mr. Subhash Saraf, once again. Sir, if you're around, Rahul, if Sir is around, can we have him on screen, please?
Hello.
Welcome once again, Sir.
So we'll
Namaskar.
no. So we'll learn more about diaphragmatic breathing. This is applicable. You're also an artist, so it can help you with projecting your voice, modulating your voice in the theaters and in the plays. So it's useful for everyone, even professionals who want to talk. So you have to take. I'll demonstrate it first, then you can do it yourself.
Okay.
Keep your hand on your belly, just below your lungs, and take a nice deep breath from your nose, and your belly should move. That means you're doing diaphragmatic breathing. Okay? And then when you take a deep breath and when you exhale, you have to say ha as loudly as you can. Okay?
Okay.
Ha. Now, can you do it?
Ha.
Correct. So that helps you to project your voice.
Ha.
Do it 10 times before you start your
Oh.
performance. So that, no, not
Okay.
now, but whenever you are performing on stage,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
practice this exercise and do it in whenever you are saying your dialogues or whenever you're talking. So it's
Okay.
very important to take a diaphragmatic breath so that you don't strain your vocal folds when you're projecting your voice higher.
Okay.
So this is one other exercise that I brought for your
Just I wanted to ask you one question, Doctor.
sure. Yes.
Referred something about artists and actors. Now, whenever I'm giving some speech, maybe after say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I
Correct,
feel something strain on my voice. So
Correct.
what can be done about it? I mean, how to overcome that?
Sure,
Continuous speaking, you said, I'm a professional, so I have to speak again and again.
Correct.
Continuously.
Correct.
So,
So if
any-
your
any-
voice changes in quality, like morning it is different, evening it is different.
It
Hoarseness
can, it is.
increases, घशातली खरखर increase होते.
Oh,
So
oh,
that
oh,
is
oh,
also
oh,
a
yeah.
sign of concern. Okay. So
Correct.
if your voice is changed for like more than 1 week, you have to
Okay.
do a simple test called laryngoscopy from an ENT doctor.
Laryngoscopy, okay.
That's a video recording of your vocal folds, how they are
Oh.
moving. So त्याच्यातनं तुम्हाला you come to know that whether your vocal folds are normal, because many a times hoarseness is because of vocal nodules that are present on the vocal folds. So do a laryngoscopy, especially for professional voice users. I recommend it, and then come to a voice therapist like me, and then I will guide you with the
Okay.
exercises that we can do.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. The way you're explaining, we are getting comments that it is a really informative and interesting topic. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Mohit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for inviting me.
Doctor, as we speak, there are a few questions that have been diverted to me from the audience. So if you're comfortable, would you like to take some?
Sure.
Okay, so the first question is, we are informed that even calcium built up in the eardrums also is another factor for hearing problems, calcium in the eardrums. In such a case, is it worth going for hearing aids rather than going for such a surgery, especially in the elderly people?
Okay.
This is about calcium deposit in the eardrums and whether hearing aids would be better or a surgery would be better.
It depends on their audiogram. They have to do a audiometry test. Okay, calcium builds up like because eardrum doesn't remain as flexible as they are in younger years. So slowly the calcium deposits, the eardrum becomes less flexible. So what you could do is you could do a audiometry test and see what's the type of hearing loss. And if there's no surgery, as much as I am aware, there's no surgery to correct calcium deposits. So you can go for hearing aids if you're showing hearing loss. So that's the only remedy according to me. You can still consult an ENT doctor just to be sure about it.
All right. Thank you, doctor. The second question is related to diet. You had spoken about diet. So the question goes, does drinking warm water regularly help in improving listening, speaking fluently, and voice? And if so, how?
Okay. See, drinking lukewarm water is advised for voice users, like whoever talks more than 1 hour at a time, they have to keep a glass of lukewarm water with them and keep on hydrating their throat. It doesn't have an effect on your ears, but drinking water is good for your body. So it relieves stress. It's a good thing for your body also. And what was the last one?
Does it's just about warm water? How does it help, doctor?
Voice.
What is the logic behind it?
Because it hydrates your throat. So if the throat is hydrated, then your voice quality is much better.
All right. And doctor, a very interesting point has come in. Actually, you had touched upon this topic, but you had said that in kids, most kids born in India actually don't get a hearing test done.
Correct.
So there is a way. The question goes like this: how to identify hearing defects in infants or kids? Can that be corrected with therapy?
Okay. See, we can do hearing test from like say immediately after birth. Immediately after birth, that's called newborn hearing screenings. We can do it immediately after birth, and we can do it like any time during the lifespan. So as sooner the better. So they can be corrected, like if the child is born profoundly deaf, he has to be fitted with hearing aids as soon as possible. Like by 3 months, if he's fitted with hearing aids, for example, he will be able to gain in his sound and speech normally. And then they can go for cochlear implant surgery, which is also done here in India these days. And the child can go back to normal school also with cochlear implant surgery. So it's a big miracle that's happening right now in India.
That's wonderful, doctor. A very direct question by Mr. Ashish Desai. It's very direct. How to manage speed while talking? I talk very fast.
Correct, correct. So this is a very common speech problem. So if people are talking very fast, the speech intelligibility, as we call it, like the listener is not able to understand the words. Many a times the words are like fused together, so it's unclear. Speech becomes unclear. So remember, you can try practice taking a reading. I make my patients read a short passage from the newspaper and taking deep breaths and tapping on each word and saying the
So
sentence.
can we do this together, doctor? You and me?
Sure, sure. What do you
Okay.
want to read? We want to read something.
All right. Let me get something to read. What do we have? Okay. So I have a visiting card in front of me.
Yes.
It says all fabrication. Okay. So do you want me to read the visiting card, or should I just?
Sure. So you have to take a deep breath and tap on each word and say the word. All fabrications. This, of course, you do it at home so that you reduce the
So
speed of your talking.
so will it be like somewhat like all fabrication and interior decorative items?
Yes. So you practice this at home, and then when you're talking, you can tap slightly on your thigh, for example, and then it lowers the speed of your speech.
Okay.
A very hands-on exercise that you can do.
Wonderful. Doctor, some concerns raised by senior citizens in the age group of 65 to 80 who already have hearing and speaking issues. Any hope for them, doctor? Can they come out of it? Any treatments?
They can still consult a audiologist and speech therapist, and these days online also they don't need to go out of their houses. They can just connect online and they can get advice personally, because it's a very general, hearing and speech is quite general. So if you want personal consultation, you can consult, you can come online and discuss your issues.
All right. Doctor, alternative therapy question has come for acupressure. does acupressure help to overcome some problems like pain in the ears?
See, acupressure, it's an alternative medicine. I don't really recommend in the sense it's not proven. It's not proven. People go for it, but it's not proven. It's not a science yet here in this country. So I don't promote acupressure that much.
Okay, okay. Doctor, any other points that you would like to add over and above the questions asked?
We covered pretty much everything, and it was wonderful talking to you just in a conversation style. So I think we covered pretty much everything. So take care of your voice, take care of your hearing, and if you need help, please seek it as soon as possible. Especially with parents of young children, make sure you give time to your child. You play with your child on a regular basis, because even like simple things like playing with your child has become rare these days. Due to lockdown, families have started coming together much better than before. Like, you know, when the work was going on, both parents are working, child is in daycare most of the time. So it's very tough on the child. So please make sure you get your child all the attention, especially in the early years. And elders also take care, do a hearing test, and if you face with communication problems, please help. Don't just live with it.
So, doctor, a lot of people, probably me included, have come to know today about what audiology, about what speech therapy, and about what voice wellness is. Thank you so much. But we would also want to know, in case anybody wants to consult you for any issue that they face, could you us your email ID, or could you share your email ID or your
Yeah,
contact details so people could approach you if they
sure,
want
sure.
to?
I'm very open. Like, I'm very accessible to my patients in my clinic also, and I try to help out as many as possible. So they can email me at djpodar@gmail.com, and I will get back to them.
Could you
So
spell that out? And at the same time, I request Rahul or Ashutosh at the back end to please put this up on the chat so everyone can note the email ID down, please.
it's D as in David, J as in Jaideep, POTDAR @gmail.com.
Wonderful. Doctor, thank you so very much for this enlightening talk. Seriously, we all would never have known how important this subject is. From the bottommost part of my heart, Doctor, I would like to thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, ISCO, and all the lovely members of ISCO for bringing me here. And thank you specially Rajendra Pai for introducing me to ISCO. And I would like to thank Mr. Subhash Saraf for being so kind to allow me to present here on audiology and speech therapy, and including this field in your knowledge series. So thank you so much. Thanks Rahul Sakhalkar also for the lovely visuals and all the help. Thanks all the volunteers, and thanks all the lovely audience for listening to me and being a part of this program. Thank
and
you.
and thank you, Doctor. And to offer the official vote of thanks, I would like to welcome the one and only, our very dear member, Rahul Sakhalkar. Rahul, if you could please do the official vote of thanks. Rahul, your mic, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Mohit. Good
Welcome,
evening,
Rahul.
everyone. I'm honored and lucky to have an opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this special day. I'm sure we all love Dr. Poddar's webinar, where she was so precise and clear about the importance of audiology, voice, and speech therapy. The way in which she explained her subject was very extraordinary. I would like to thank Mr. Mohit Bende for doing such a fine job and
Thank you.
moderating this event so beautifully. A big thanks to our Vice President, Mr. Subhash Saraf, for introducing Dr. Poddar and setting the tone for today's meeting. I must not forget to thank all the volunteers and Team ISCO who contributed in organizing this event, especially our technical team, Mr. Ashutosh Nadkarni, Mohit Bhende, Paresh Joshi, and Rahul. Finally, I again want to thank each and every one of you present on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook for making this event a grand success. Thank you once again and see you soon in our next webinar. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, everyone. Thank you, wonderful audience. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Poddar.